the Free State people, Bloemfontein people are thirsty, are hungry for football back in our province, back in Bloemfontein. I'm talking top flight football, regardless of it being NFD, regardless of it being the DSTV Premiership. We want some action. But also, we need to understand why we haven't had the action. And today, we've got Mr Richard Moeketsi, who is one of the people that we're working really hard to try to bring a team in Bloemfontein to make sure that we've got a team that is in the top flight, that we support, that we enjoy, that can bring all these other big clubs. Because, if you're a Pirates fan, Sundowns fan, Kaizer Chiefs fan, either way, the only way for you to be able to see these teams that you love is if we have a team as well in Bloemfontein, just outside Marseille, wanting to have a team that they support because we know them. We know Marseille. I mean, come on. Who doesn't know Marseille? Africa knows who Marseille is. Mr Richard, welcome to Sporting 101 and good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Mr Rich, I know on the 17th of August, that's where I want to start this whole conversation.
Yes.
Marumo Gallants had a press conference in Gauteng, and
yes.
They mentioned that they're going to be playing their home games in Bloemfontein. And you are one of the people that are very close to them, talking to them because you want to make this move happen and come to Bloemfontein, right?
Yes.
How far is that going? How's that going so far?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you back. We were in a process to bring Marumo Gallants here. So it's only this year on the 25th of January, the PSL approved to make Bloemfontein the Marumo Gallants home ground. Each and every team in the PSL, they are having 3 venues. I will make example of Kaizer Chiefs. They are playing at Cape Town. They are playing at Durban. They are playing at FNB.
Yeah.
Because each and every team has got 3 venues. So Marumo only had 2 venues. It's only when PSL approve it that they can make Bloemfontein their home ground. It was on the 25th.
Yeah.
So after that, they had to apply again at PSL. We brought Sundowns here. It was a Nedbank Cup. We brought TX Galaxy. We brought Royal AM.
Yeah.
So those particular 3 games, I want our people to understand. They didn't go back because they wanted to. Those 3 venues there at Polokwane and Rustenburg, the games were scheduled to be played there. So people of Bloemfontein, they tend to say, no, Marumo turned them away after winning 3 games. No, Marumo didn't turn 8 away. They were supposed to go back and play the other remaining games at their previous home grounds.
Okay.
But immediately after they were relegated, it's when we seated down with the management of Marumo. And if you could check the Motsepe Foundation League, all their homes game is Dr. Molemela Stadium.
Yeah, even when you check the fixture,
in
Dr. Molemela. Yeah.
Temporarily now, because Dr. Molemela is not according to the PSL status. That is why we find ourselves that the team temporarily, they are using the Isak Stadium where they at Val, the Val Technicon Stadium.
Yeah.
It's temporarily, but all their games, they wanted to be in Bloom because we agreed with them that they are no longer going to use the Rustenburg and Polokwane.
Okay. Now, let's get our viewers to understand, right?
Yes.
Why do they have to use the Val Stadium as a temporary stadium when we have, your Dr. Molemela Stadium, and previously they also used the Toyota Stadium, which a lot of people still know as Vodacom Park, but the Free State Stadium, let's put it that way. Okay. Why am I asking this question? Mangaung United nse dlala ko Dr. Molemela.
Okay.
Why can't we use that stadium? And why are they still playing temporarily in the Val?
Okay. Let me start by saying the 3 games I've mentioned about the PSL one, the games were played here at Toyota Stadium.
Yeah.
It's because that particular stadium, Dr. Molemela, were not in that status quo of PSL for the games to be played there.
But last season also we had TTM playing at the Dr. Molemela Stadium. Yeah.
This matter of TTM, I don't want to dwell much on it, but the fact of the matter is TTM was brought to Bloom to take over while we were in a process of Marumo.
Okay.
This process of Marumo Gallants, our first meeting with them, it was in November 2022. We had our meetings behind the scenes.
Okay.
Up until they understand that by then when we had the meetings, there was this World Cup. There was no soccer in South Africa. Everybody was looking for a World Cup.
Okay.
It is when we decided that the very first opening game of the PSL, it was on the 30th of December. It's then when we got a good Samaritan who supported us with bus and the very same shirt I'm wearing today. And it's unfortunately that those good Samaritan wanted to put Bloemfontein Celtic. But I discouraged them because Bloemfontein Celtic is registered under Matlabe Chabalala.
Yeah. But I don't want to dwell there too much. Let's put our viewers in light.
Yes.
Now, why did we have Marumo now playing in the Val temporarily? Why can't they move here?
No. Before the season started, PSL has to send Professor Skulls. Professor Skulls came to check the stadium here, and he could detect that some things at the stadium that are not in PSL and First Division status. People might say Mangaung City and whatever they are playing there, but they are not in that PSL status. PSL status is the team that plays on top flight, the First Division, as well as the reserve side of the other teams. I don't know, they call it the disky something. Yeah. So the stadium is not up to standard. The pitch was not right. Right now they are worked with the pitch. The dressing rooms were not right. The toilets were not right. Some other windows. So we talk in terms of the safety of the people. We don't just look at one thing. That is why when the professor came, he decided to say these 3 aspects, they need to be rectified. Even if one can say it, Moroka Swallows, they have scheduled their games here in Bloemfontein. It's unfortunately they didn't check with the stadium first. Because it's only when the professor's calls come, he could enlighten that your teams cannot play here. I remember the first game for Moroka Swallows was supposed to be on the 9th of August. That Women's Day, Moroka Swallows was supposed to play here. But it's unfortunately, if the stadium is not right, there's nothing they can do. And then the Marumo Gallant Stadium, the Toyota Stadium, it's unfortunately the Mangaung municipality has leased the stadium for 100 years to the rugby union. So everything with regard to the Mangaung, to the Toyota Stadium, you have to go via the rugby union. So the rugby union, for an example, I can break down. I can break down while Marumo was playing here for that particular one game. The stadium is 250 to hire. They are putting 40,000 of a generator. You have to hire securities. You have to make sure that sometimes one could run at a loss.
So let's talk about Dr. Pietres Molemela Stadium, because it's the stadium that that is on the fixture to say this is where Marumo is going to play. And in that press conference, they said
Yes,
that
they are
Tamalemela
relocating,
will
yes.
be our
home game.
whose responsibility it is to make sure that that stadium is in good condition for Marumo to play
The
there.
stadium is under Mangaung Metro. So because Mangaung Metro, it's under administration. We try to include the government sector because of the Mangaung municipality. They are under administration, and it's unfortunately again that most of the people were acting. We used to have acting mayor who cannot make decision, acting city managers. So it's only now we had a meeting last week. I met the premier, I met the mayor. Yesterday I met the city manager, which is Mr. Selolone. And then I enlightened them that I'm talking about, when I say we, I'm talking about all the people in Bloemfontein, the citizen of Bloemfontein, or the entire province, because it's unfortunately we don't have any team in that particular PSL or at the Motsepe Foundation League, the one that could bring the other teams to play there. Yeah.
So since they are responsible and you've met with them, are we gonna see any movement in terms of the stadium being ready for now Marumo finally moving this side?
Already they have started, because the pitch, they are working with it, and then the dressing room, they have to cover that. I can put my head on the block. By end of this month, beginning of January, the games will be coming to bloom.
So
Marumo will be
end of November.
End of November,
Between end of November
beginning of January.
and January.
Yes.
Not December, January.
Oh, no, sorry, December. December, I'm talking January is next year. No,
Yeah.
no, December.
December,
because
we might have a game coming this side.
Yeah, because by the team playing temporarily at the Val Technical, they are paying it monthly to monthly, and it's too expensive for them. Unlike when they come here, they know that they have paid throughout.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So with you saying all of these, right?
Yes.
The team has played what now? 11 games
Yes.
in the National
In the
First
National
Division.
First Division, yes.
They are somewhere around
They are number 9.
number 9 on the log.
Yes.
If not, isn't it 10? Is it 9?
9-10.
9-10, yeah, 9-10.
Yes.
And they also have a game tomorrow.
Yes.
So with them moving this side,
Yes.
are they still going to get the same support that you guys gave them? You know,
While they
late last year, early this year.
No, in fact, we have to.
And let me just add on that.
Yes.
I'm saying this because now you are in the NFD. It's no longer
the top
in
flight.
in the PSL.
Yes.
You know, yeah,
We were from there.
yeah,
The supporters took a resolution
yeah.
that they are going with Marumo. So we were there with Bloemfontein Celtic. We know what is happening at the first division. So the supporters took a resolution. The only thing is just that we need to be honest to our supporters, not only the supporters, the entire community of Bloemfontein. Because you might find that some people, they don't hear anything right now since Marumo went down. But we are in a planning. We've got a strategies that we are going to make that noise regarding the games to come to bloom, whereby most of the people will be able to know what is exactly happening. The fixture, it says Marumo is playing in Bloom, but Marumo is playing in Val. They don't even know, they don't hear anything. But immediately when they come, I'm saying this week or next week, we might do something.
This week or next week, you might do something.
This week or next week, we might do something.
Dr. Richard, I'm going to hold you to this.
You are welcome. I'm saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying this because there are some other things that we are doing behind the scenes. The one that we could not say it to people. If you could recall, sometimes in August,
Okay.
I was robbed in the meeting while we were shooting.
Yeah.
And I enlightened people about the games that would come and play. And the games did come and play in Bloom.
Let's do this. There are a lot of logistics to be met for a team to move
Yes.
from one province or
province to
town to another, right?
Yes.
One of those issues is that if they're gonna play here, it means the team is basically going to relocate here. Are there those arrangements where players are gonna have a place to stay, where we're not gonna have drama now of players complaining about where they're staying and all that? Is that sorted as well?
Here I'm going to make a distinct differences. When Bloemfontein Celtic was taken, it was prior the season started. I wouldn't dwell into that. The PSL and the lady, which is Mrs. Moeketsi, they had agreement that the player should report at Durban on Monday. The season is starting on Wednesday. So, if you could recall, this Celtics movement from Bloom to Maritzburg, to Durban, it happens on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That was all. It happens Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
I could take you back. The Mrs. Moeketsi didn't want to play the playoffs. And then the PSL took him to disciplinary committee. They insist she played the playoffs. Unfortunately, she still denied. And then she took the matter to FIFA. So while the matter was at FIFA, it's fortunate enough for the PSL. The attorneys of the lawyer, that is Patrick Tinyembe, ask the FIFA that you give out the verdict that Tinyembe must be paid 3 million. And it's some couple of months. Nothing is happening. So it's when PSL, according to the protocol, they ask, FIFA ask SAFA, SAFA ask PSL. And then PSL paid Tinyembe 3 million.
Yeah, but so I want to know if
I wanted to say the relocation.
Yeah.
No, they are not the relocation per se. They are going to play their games in Bloom.
Okay.
Whereas they reside that side, because for a relocation, like you said, the dramas players could complain. When you take someone who's staying with their family and said, go to Bloemfontein, where is he going to pay? He's still paying the rent where he's residing at.
Exactly my point. Yeah.
So it's
basically they are not gonna move here.
They are not gonna move, but they are going to play the games here.
Okay.
Yes.
No, that is understood, Mr Richard. Let's close it, right?
Yes.
Is there anything that you would want to say to our people, the people of the Free State, that we left behind, that you want to let them know with this whole movement of Marumo Gallants now coming to play? I think it's pretty clear to our viewers that the only reason why Marumo hasn't moved this side is because the stadium hasn't, doesn't meet the PSL standards, the required standards. It's a PSL, basically. Yes. Now, but with your word, at least maybe
we are getting
next
there.
Month we might see one or two games coming in Bloom, right?
Yes.
So in terms of anything that you've left behind that you want to put it out there?
No, I wanted to enlighten the entire community, the people, because when I started, I said Bloemfontein Celtic is owned by Max Chabalala. And Bloemfontein Celtic is playing at the ABC Motsepe League. So there's no way that the Bloemfontein Celtic that is registered at ABC Motsepe, it can be renamed the other team at the top flight, which is the PSA.
So now that
our
you touched,
people,
I want to interject there. Now that you touched on the name, Now that you've touched on the name, are we going to see a name change from Marumo Gallants to something else with time? Of course, because now already they are registered as Marumo Gallants in the PSL. But are we going to see that, because that was one of the things that were talked about?
No, that is why I touched about the name, because our people in Bloemfontein, I'm going to use that. They are captured. They basically want Bloemfontein Celtic, and of which, unfortunately, Bloemfontein Celtic is registered under Mr. Chabalala. So we had agreement with the Marumo management, taking into consideration that we are getting married. Here, we didn't pay anything, we didn't do anything. This is just a marriage between the Marumo and the Celtic. So we had an agreement that the name related to Celtic would be there. And the name related to Marumo, because Marumo did play CAF last year and it's registered, it will be there. So if you could recall, before this team can be Marumo Gallants, it played the entire season being TTM.
TTM, yeah. Sure.
So there's no way the name can change while the season started. That is why I made an example of the Royal AM. The team used to be Royal Eagles. But immediately after bought-in shares of Celtic and whatever, they changed to rename it Royal AM. It was before the season started. So now that the team will be coming to bloom, it will come as a Marumo Gallants. Even right now, we are going to have we called a meeting on Sunday the 12th. The meeting will be at Mabewana Primary School. We are saying that we want to form a branch of Marumo Gallants in Bloemfontein. I don't want to talk about branches of Bloemfontein Celtic. We don't have Bloemfontein Celtic anymore. So we want to form a branch of Marumo Gallants in Bloemfontein. So that when we talk a same language, Marumo. In the end, Marumo would be renamed, related to Celtic. In terms of the colors, we did have an agreement with the management. Marumo was supposed to play in blue before that particular 3 games. There was a game I attended. They wanted Pirates and Marumo to start playing in blue, but it's unfortunately PSL didn't give it approval. So the game was at Rustenburg. At Rustenburg, those people were wearing green and white. So with regard to the green and white, they agreed with us. It's only that our people wanted to change things simultaneously.
Yeah, the name and everything.
The name and everything. I wanted to say, I thank the entire people who formed Bloemfontein Celtic before they gave it to Ntate Molemela. They are co-founders of Bloemfontein Celtic. Ntate Molemela was not in the part.
Yeah.
So we are only left in that particular co-founders. We are only left with one person who is still alive. That is Ntate Victor Mahatan. And it was Ntate Victor Mahatan and Ntate Matobisa. When they realize that they don't have money, they speak to Ntate Molemela. Because Ntate Molemela had constructions and hotel. And then there was no transaction of money. They gave him to say, there is a baby. Please grow up the baby. Actually, let me take you back. Because you guys might not be aware. Celtic, it comes from Mangaung.
Yeah.
That Mangaung, there was Mangaung United. And then there were other groups that were breaking. And then they opened Mangaung United and Mangaung Limited. So there were these other ones that were in between. Mangaung and Mangaung Limited. Mangaung United and Mangaung Limited. So these ones that were there, they decided to say, man, let's start something. It's fortunately by then, where there is ANC offices here, it used to be Friend magazine. That Friend was the newspaper reading in Bloom. So there was an editor there who was from Glasgow. So he was an editor of sports. So when he spoke to these people, it's when these people were telling, no, we don't want to fall into two. Yeah. We want this. It's only when he said to them, when you are going to do that particular team, rename it Bloemfontein Celtic, because I'm from Glasgow, there is Glasgow Celtic that is wearing green and white. That is why you could see the Celtic and the other Celtic is green and white.
Yeah, there are similarities basically.
Yes.
All right. That Rich. Ke batla re kwale re be mohatla khuiti.
Okay.
Ha ba bua ka Sesotho. So I re kwala what you basically saying in this conversation is a khale re tlo bona Marumo Gallants e theowa e tlo bapalla ka kwano ka Bloemfontein.
Highly need. Marumo Gallants e tlo theowa e bapale kwa. Ibile ona jwale ke motjheng. Marumo Gallants ka di 20 tsa December. E bapala le Hungry Lions. Ba bapala Kimberley.
Yeah.
Ki busy ke organize a trip. We should support Marumo.
Yeah.
Kimberley ki mo haufinyana.
Yeah, Kimberley mona.
Kimberley ki mona haufinyana. So the trip ki se ki fumane di code tsa di bus, then tripping e ke tlo e organize. I want people to have fun.
All right. No, that Rich. Re ko leboe bakeng sa hore tsatsing la ka sheko bue le rona and update us on what is happening, you know, with Marumo Gallants.
Yes.
Having to come to Bloemfontein. Re a leboa haholo Ntate Richard.
No, le nna ke leboile le batho bohle le tsebe o rai papadi teng rona masele re tsebwa ka pina ha ona e nngwe re buang ka yona re tsejwa ka pina re tsejwa ka passion le nako ela ya Sundowns ila tla una isingcobo antse re le ka more. This is the type of support we PSL batla. And le sa tsebeng ka makhufe eo. Ka makhufe rona we managed to rebitse Celtic Legends. Tlo bapala le Free State Stars Legends. Le be di curtain raisers tsa Royal AML Chiefs. But are be mohatla go itse ke tsedi.
Ke a leboa Ntate Richard.
No, ke leboile.
Thank you so much to you as well at home for watching and making sure that you get this information firsthand on Free State Online channel. As always, I cannot drop the mic without saying these words: to whom much is given, much is expected, and to whom much is expected, much is required. Every champion that is a champion today was once a contender who refused to give up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Big Zo P, the greatest. God willing, I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Morenaka.